So the sacred masculine and feminine and Teresa of Avila. As we all know, the sacred masculine and feminine are very popular topics today because exploring them is helping us sift through what seems pretty confusing. Now, Teresa of Avila is a woman of her times, and she talks about men and women. She doesn't talk so much about masculine and feminine because it was not something that was the exploration of her time. But she does talk about men and women, and she lived in an environment that was dominated in the material realm by men. The hierarchy was all men. The caste system, the way women were seen as property, the popular practices, and even the general viewpoints that men were more stable and women were more volatile and unpredictable. In fact, even in her writings, she refers to herself as a poor woman, having very little to offer. And I'll be honest with you, I think that there is a certain coyness and playfulness, because even though she uses these words, oh, don't believe me, I was probably a woman who was just out of my rational brain. My poor feminine nature doesn't know how to sift through what's really true and what's really not. She puts herself down. She even calls herself a worthless woman, which I know can be an affront to many of us today, men and women alike, who are seeking to know that we're worthy. Well, if you've watched all these videos, you'll see that she believes at the center of every human being dwells the beloved, dwells God. Without gender, race, economic status, without any reference to these, she believes that 100% every human being is this at their center. There can't be any greater worth than that. So it can't mean that she believes women are unworthy and men should have all the power. But she does live in an era where that is true. Yet she walks through that time with such confidence that you would think she's got a lot of masculine in her. Now, some of the views of feminine and masculine are that feminine is the birthing quality, feminine is the nurturing quality, the receptivity quality, and the transformation quality, because what could be more transformative than actually giving birth? And that masculine is the goal-oriented, the driven, the force towards something, and also the providing and abiding quality. So there are these aspects that we can talk to of masculine and feminine, and she seems to give witness to that by the way she acts in her life. She holds her own counsel onto who is really wise and who is not. She even puts down some of the men who are given authority to speak on spiritual matters as having no idea of what they're really talking about because they can't get their noses out of books, that they probably haven't had a direct experience in their lives. And she esteems many of the women who are unknown and joining monasteries for the experience as being the ones where truth is coming forward. But she doesn't just side with women more than men. She also points out the weaknesses in the women she experiences and the strengths in the men that she experiences. What I would like to speak to is the twofold quality of opening to transformation, because she has a lot of fire in the feminine, and the harnessing of that in accomplishing her goals. She gives witness that each of us as human beings, male or female, or however we may speak of the gender casing, each of us is drawn and comes into fullness as much as we let ourselves birth into new life, that messy coming forward in a new way, into the unknown. Think about when a baby is born. That baby moves from this protected, womb-like, water-filled way of being provided for, all of a sudden out into a world where hopefully they're provided for. Not all babies are provided for, and inevitably find that they can only look to their own journey for true provision. She witnesses that God alone is the place where we find the abiding, providing nature wherein we can birth into new life. And as we birth into new life, it's beholden upon us to let the masculine within us move us towards the goal. So the masculine in her keeps her eye on the goal, union with God, and moves her towards the manifestation in this world. Both are important, and both she reveals to us, the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine, and how each person is called into the marriage of these to become whole. So if you want to learn a little bit more and grow in friendship with Teresa of Avila, I will be starting a 5-week course online, a new round. I do it in rounds so everyone can be together, with videos online, with webinar, weekly meditation, a private session with me, and lots of learning of her writings, her poetry, her culture, her history, and her own personal development. If you've always wanted to learn more, learn with me. I am a former Carmelite. I was a Carmelite nun, and I was blessed to have access to many texts that are not even published today. Teresa has been a dear friend of mine for 30 years, over 30 years now, 33 years now. And I would love to share that friendship with you. And if you want to just jump into something more extreme, join me in Spain, where we'll go to 6 of the monasteries she founded, experience the poetry that she wrote there, and let her guide us today to have the same experiences that she did. Great to be with you.